Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. So today I want to dive into Facebook a little bit more. I'm going to show you some specific metrics for why I like Facebook. I'm going to combine that with some technicals from the chart to show you a nice support level, and I just want to plead my case for Facebook and why I think it is such an interesting buy at this point in time. So Facebook has a $510 billion market cap currently. Its PE ratio is right about 31 times. Price to sales ratio is about 8.33%. They have no debt, which we talked about in the last video. That's why I love Facebook. Its gross profit margins are well above that of the industry average. I love that. Cash and short-term investments are right about $49 billion with no debt. Zero debt. I already said that. It's one of the FANG stocks, so anytime there's drama in the markets, it gets hit. That's kind of how that works. Today there's a bunch of news about Trump out. It's caused a bunch of stocks to drop. The markets globally are pretty much dropping right now, and Facebook happens to be one of them. Now I've identified a key supply zone on the chart, on the weekly and daily charts, and we're down in that supply zone, and I nibbled more Facebook stock today, so I'm really excited about that. I'm a strong believer in when things go on sale, you gotta buy. Now there is a probe going on with Facebook. They're talking about diving into some certain areas, and I can get into that in another video. Facebook is very controversial. There's always a lot of drama surrounding it. There's a lot of people looking into it. They hold a lot of data, so data breaches, data issues, data violations, these are all gonna cause big downside moves for Facebook when stuff comes up. Now, I believe personally that when you get these pushes to the downside because of some of these dramatic events, I think they're great buying opportunities because at the core basis, at the bottom level of all this news, all these issues, anything surrounding Facebook, bottom line is they are a good fundamental company and you can't escape that. They have zero debt. They have good price to sales ratios. Their PE is not horrible. Things just look good fundamentally as a business. So I rest well at night knowing Facebook is a great business when I'm personally investing in it. Now again, this is just my opinion. Take all this with a grain of salt. It's just how I feel. I'm not telling anyone to trade a specific stock or to buy Facebook at a certain level. I'm just showing you what I'm doing. So now that I've shared a little bit about how I feel about Facebook and why I like Facebook, I want to jump into the charts now and show you the technicals. I love to blend the fundamentals with the technicals and just make more sense of buying and selling stock. So with that, let's jump into the charts on Facebook. Welcome. Here is the Facebook weekly chart. I want to start here today because you can see a nice supply zone. So real quick, let's zoom in here and let's take a peek at this thing. So what we can see on this weekly chart is that we've got the 200 simple moving average, the 50 simple moving average, and the 20 simple moving average all moving somewhat to the upside. So it looks like we're uptrending. One quick thing I look at is I like to look at earnings. As you can see, Facebook's been having earnings beats over the last few quarters. So that's all positive that we're showing good beat of earnings expectations. Now we're above the 200-day simple moving average, which I like to see. That helps to indicate that we are moving in the right direction in the uptrend. And then you can see I've drawn this dark rectangle on the chart, on the weekly chart. And what I've identified here is a supply zone. So what a supply zone is, when price drops to a certain level, people become interested in it. It's kind of like if you go to the grocery store and you see, maybe your favorite coffee that's normally $15. It's your favorite coffee, you love it, but you don't buy it because it's so expensive. It's $15, $16. And then things go on sale and maybe they put it on sale for $14 and you think, well, it's still kind of expensive. I still don't know that I really want the coffee yet. And then they drop it, they have a huge sale, they slash prices, and it's $9.99. At $9.99 in your brain you say, it's perfect, I'm gonna buy now. And you buy the coffee. It's the same thing here. At $218, Facebook is that expensive coffee. But now we've had this pullback into this level here. This is kind of that $9.99 coffee level with a pushback up, a pullback down, a push up, and a pull back down. So every time we get into this supply zone, as I like to call it, it's a time when people tend to come back to the market. They deem Facebook a good price, they buy more shares, and then we typically will move on. Even if it's just for a week, we move away from that level. So every time we test this level, it makes it stronger, in my opinion, as a support level. Now you can see we had the news come out about Trump. I think that's going to cause a lot of issues for the market. And they're issues that aren't fundamental issues. They tend to be more dramatic, more day-to-day market fluctuation issues. The whole market's being taken down a little bit today, and Facebook is one of them. And you can see right here, we're getting this big push to the downside, and we're back down in that supply zone. So we're currently trading at 178.31, and I went ahead and nibbled another 25 shares, spending about $4,500 today, and adding to my position on Facebook. Now, if you've watched the videos and you're familiar with the channel, you've known that I was nibbling shares back in here, and I was nibbling shares back in here, and now that we've returned again, I'm going to nibble a few more shares and just keep slowly trying to build my position in Facebook. So now this is the weekly chart, and one additional thing that I like is we are getting some downside on the MACD, which then, if you know how I trade, I tend to like to wait for a little reversion. I like to stack this in my favor, knowing that the likelihood is that we're going to revert back to the mean before going higher. Doesn't mean we have to, it's just it usually does that. So let's move to the daily chart, and I want to show you how that time frame aligns with the weekly time frame. So right here you can see that supply zone, and you can see where we had touched it and it was resistance before. We broke above it, and now it has become a support level. So we're right back in that support level, in that supply zone, and you can see how every time we go into the supply zone, we get these MACD red dips. We go green, we get a MACD red dip into the supply zone, it gets bought back up, we go green, we're dipping back into the MACD red supply zone, and I anticipate that we will then hopefully go higher again. Doesn't mean we have to. I always got to preface that. It doesn't mean that we have to go higher. It's just that's what my thought is regarding Facebook on the daily chart. Now, one thing I forgot to mention in the intro was that the income and cash flow for Facebook has increased year over year, every year since 2014. That was another huge piece of information that I wanted to add here. They're continuing to show growth in cash. It's been incredible what they've done as a business and still maintain that zero debt standard. They're just an A+ balance sheet stock in my opinion, and anytime it dips, I want to jump in and claim a few more shares. So as you can see right here, we were at highs, and we had this big sell-off, and we all know, the end of last year was pretty rough in terms of sell-offs in the market. And then we've kind of been regaining, and see right here, they had an earnings beat of $2.38 when the market was expecting $2.19, and that set off this big gap up. Now that big gap created and changed the trend on Facebook. It caused it to sort of move back to the upside. And I think what we're getting right now is a lot of news-related drama that's pushing Facebook down, in addition to some of the probes into Facebook regarding data. Anytime you have a breach, you're going to see Facebook stock pull back, but it doesn't mean that their business fundamentals are broken. They may have changes to policy they need to make, they need to manage data in a different way, but that's all stuff that can be adjusted. That's not core business fundamentals for generating income. So Facebook continues to work to the upside, and I like that we're nearing the 200 simple moving average, because the last time we neared that, let me draw a bubble on this so you can see it really clear, but this is really clear. It's respected that 200 simple moving average there. We had a lot of price action bouncing around, and now you can see right in here that 200 simple moving average is moving up, and we're about to interact with it again. So this is a great supply zone, in my opinion, for buying more shares of Facebook to go to the upside. Now, I'm going to keep checking in with you guys on this stock, because I also want to talk about their cryptocurrency Libra that Facebook is looking to get approved in different countries. They're partnering with so many big banks and financial institutions that I think it's something we need to talk about and consider.
because if it does go through and if it becomes successful, I think this could take Facebook stock to levels that we've never seen before. So again, just my opinion, but I want to continue to talk about Facebook and the cryptocurrency so that we're informed and we know how to trade this stock moving forward. So with that, hope you're agreeing. Comments below. See you tomorrow.